think a large part of motherhood is understanding that nothing will ever go as planned. I started a video and then this little one woke up and it was like, nope, she's going to be here for the video. So today's video is something that's kind of coming full circle for me. By the way, I also had a plan to do the singing bowls and one of my mallets went missing by my other child. So let's just imagine that I played them today and hopefully you came into this space, ready to receive and with breath and in a peaceful state. But I promise I'll work on it next time. So today I wanted to talk about what I've learned about balancing the masculine and the feminine. And one of the greatest lessons, I won't even say one of the greatest lessons, let's start over. In all of my spiritual studies, like over the past 10 years, a good majority of my teachers have been men. And I kind of struggled with this over the past couple of years because I was wondering, where are all the women? And I would never see like the ones with huge followings, and not that followings matter, but the ones that would generate audiences because of their knowledge and their ability to speak. 9 times out of 10, they were men. And it was kind of bothering me at first because I was like, okay, like, why are they leaving women out of these conversations? And that was the unhealed part of me, because I always looked at it as a challenge between, men and women. Like, why do they have all this? And why should I be listening to them? And why should I listen to that? But let's take it back in history. Let's take it back in history. When we think about a lot of the keepers of knowledge, way back in history, they were men. Like, they were the priests. They were the people you would go to, for information. And, as a Black woman, I have gone through the era where, we had the whole woke phase, and you had and this is talking on Black America specifically, where, we had our brothers going around wearing dashikis and claiming to be woke, telling women about their periods and all of that. And it's like we couldn't receive that information because we felt like we were being talked down to. Am I saying that right? We felt like we were being spoken down to. And it's very hard to receive information when you feel like somebody's trying to tell you what you already know about yourself. So I look at myself as someone who has worked pretty hard at balancing both the masculine and feminine aspects of myself. And it's something I'm still working at to this day. So obviously, you see, by nature, I'm a homemaker. And I spend all of my time at home, which is a benefit. And it's also a challenge because, I get to be with my children. I get to be their first teacher in life. I get to control what goes on within my environment directly, who I interact with, who my children interact with. But something that I've struggled with was being overlooked. And I felt as though my partner didn't see me. And I had gone through this previously in other relationships too. This is the real part about the show. I can't silence this. This is a part of my life, which is why she's here. Because, we can't sit around with the men with, like free hours of time. We got to bring the kids with us no matter what. But that's motherhood. So, and seeing these teachers and then kind of like putting it together with my everyday routine and what I do as a mother, and almost felt like I was fighting against the masculine. I was fighting to be seen by my partner, saying, well, I do this at home and I do this. And you just complain about, having to go out and work. And taking it back to ancient times, women have always been powerful. And we don't necessarily feel the need to like let everybody know how powerful we are. That's a masculine trait, not a male trait, but a masculine trait. It's the side of the brain that needs to understand things logically on a tangible level. And men are like that. So, I'm looking at all these spiritual teachers and I wasn't necessarily getting mad, but like I said, just wondering like, where are the women? Because we're seen in this light where we're just supposed to be talking about healing and the feminine, and we're not necessarily, it's not even about generating the audiences. It's just about, having our place and knowing our place. And I had taken in so much information that the only thing I could focus on was how off-putting it was to me that all these men were talking all the time. And that's kind of also another thing that led me to my podcast. It's like you spend so much time looking at what other people are doing, what other men are doing specifically, and, you know, kind of comparing yourself. There's nothing to be compared to. We all have our equal roles in this. And if you want to roll for women, you have to create that. You have to show them like, hey, we're here too to help spread this knowledge. We're here to work side by side. We're not working against. I can't get mad at him, you know, this brother because he's built a platform, or this brother because, you know, he wants to talk about women's periods. If you do that, that's cool. That's on you. And we have a lot to learn from them. We do. And the minute we stop rejecting it, it becomes easier to receive the information, and that comes with anything. And I have notes, so I'm going back and forth because I didn't want to get off track today. So throughout this life, I encountered a lot of men who have held the idea and belief that they're the leaders of the home. And I kind of feel some type of way about this because I saw a video today that I commented on, and it was a really good talk. It was through another man in the spiritual community. And he was talking about his partner and his wife and how, you know, she follows him. And I had to say something. Because you know us women, we got to say something. We got to interject if that's the case. But I had to say something because I think there's like this also distorted view in the household, like because of gender roles and things like that, that one person is the leader over the other, not that we lead together. And what I've learned about the divine feminine this year is that, you know, we refer to Earth, this planet, as Mother Nature. And as a woman who has created both a male and a female child, my life has been all about balance. So I don't look at myself as one more than the other. I'm in the body of a woman, but I don't see myself strictly as feminine nature. My desire to go and speak to audiences, have that tangible part about myself, you know, my desire to make money, to create abundance and wealth, that's masculine speaking. Even my desire that I've had that's kind of weakened me a little bit to have like competition, that's a masculine trait. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as we're healthy about it and have that awareness. It's been quite a ride to see like the differences. And when you go farther on your journey, you'll start to see both pop up. So let me get back to the video that I just saw. You know, he's talking about this man, about how his wife follows him. And again, I'm a stay-at-home mom who has a husband who works outside of the home. So I very much benefit from him out there working with his hands, doing heavy-duty labor, while I myself am at home with the children. But I do not believe that one of us leads over the other. And I think because of things like words and language, men can sometimes get a little bit caught up in these words that give meaning. And words are powerful. They're very powerful. We know language. We know occult knowledge. We know, you know, when you say something and affirm it, that's what it is. However, I will say this. It takes two to create anything. You know, and in order to do that, one can't exist without the other. So our men, our husbands, if you have one, or a male partner, we work equally side by side. There would be no child unless we made them together. Our home wouldn't be, you know, cleaned and fulfilled and have magic stirring around in the house if we didn't create that. There's not one person leading over the other. We follow each other. It's balance. We weigh each other out. And because of the language of leader, I have to lead. It's like, okay, I have to take one step forward, you know, for everybody else to move forward. Or it's because I work outside of the home and I do this that you have this. And that's not the case. Like, we balance each other. We're here in balance. This is a cosmic universe, and the way that it works is through creation. And in creation, we use both the masculine and the feminine energies in order to keep things going. I can't raise two children by myself and expect them to have all the qualities they need from both me and their father. It just doesn't work that way. I could try to make up for it, but there are some things I know that I cannot teach my son. I could provide him with male support in his life, but there's nothing like I can solely do as a mother to do that. And I know, a lot of women have also gone through a phase. I went through my phase too, where I was like, well, he's getting on my nerves and I can just figure it out without him. I can be a boss, blah, blah, blah. Forgetting that that's like the plan, to make sure none of us like link up with our partners and figure out how to make it work. That we need each other in order to survive, that one does not survive without the other. So I'll tell you all a quick story about something that happened to me earlier in the year. So I thought I was going to do this docuseries on psilocybin because on my podcast, I had encountered so many women who had these amazing stories to share on how they worked with sacred medicine in order to uplift their communities, to teach. You can check my my show page. There's so many great people that are speaking. Mama de l'Amico, First Gen Healer, and they're all still actively doing work. And my idea for this docuseries was to highlight these women. Now, I kind of felt like there was going to be a problem because I was working with two men. And it wasn't because I wanted there to be a problem, but, sometimes there's that imbalance because, masculine and feminine, they're not always in agreement with each other and they're trying to understand each other. And the comment that I got of the person who I was working with when I brought my idea that I wanted to highlight the feminine was, oh, we don't want to make this a feminist movement. And, I took offense to that. I won't lie. But I decided that creatively moving forward, that it wasn't for me. Because my idea was not to say, ooh, let's make this all about women. This is all about the feminine. It was to show that we play a huge role in the creation of things happening on the planet right now. That's why we get triggered by certain things. But it's also why we're extremely patient and kind and loving no matter how much we're hurt. I mean, look at the earth, look at Mother Nature, no matter how much we hurt her. And I refer to her not in a gender sense, but in an energy sense. We are constantly destroying our planet, hurting each other, against each other, creating division, and yet she still loves us. She still allows us to wake up every morning and start anew, to figure, new things out about the world and how we can help each other and uplift each other. The masculine can't do that alone. We have to work together. And, in having these conversations that I've had, not only with my partner, but with men, sometimes it feels like they think we're fighting against them. We're like, we don't need you. Not everybody's on that energy. Not everybody's on that level. We all need each other. We all need to figure out how to work together. There wouldn't be one without the other. I'm going to keep saying that because the divine feminine split into two to make sure that we were all together. All that BS about, I won't even go into it today, but, about Adam creating from the rib. It's like, you got to see some truth. And it's hard to see truth when you've been fed lies your entire life. So, that saying that a lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. I was thinking about that today when I was writing up things I wanted to say on this video today, because, and I think I touched on this already, women don't feel the need to yell and tell you who we are. We don't have to have a big neon sign saying I'm important above our heads. When we have something to give, we just give it. We don't need to be known or acknowledged. We appreciate it very much. Some of us, have the love language of, affirmations or, acts of service, whatever that may be. But we don't go looking for someone to tell us who we are. And I think that's one thing that I wish I could collaborate with more men in a talk about, because I don't want them to think or have this, idea in their head that we're here to fight them, or, we're here to eliminate all of them off of the planet. Because I do hear women say that a lot. Oh, this would be a better world if men weren't here. There would be no fighting. No, it would be a better world if we were more balanced. If our men were more balanced, if our women were more balanced, then it would be a better world. Not if we eliminated them, because we need that. If we're the spiritual and they're the physical, we have to have both in order to create the whole thing, the whole limitless being, that all of creation. And when we lose one of those, it's like cutting us off from our knowledge, cutting us off from our roots. The world outside, they figured out a way to do that, which is why so many people are asleep right now. And like I said, I hope this video gets out to some of the great men who are out here making this content right now, because I would love to talk to them. I would love to see more women speaking out on things like, psychedelics and medicine. That's why I started the podcast. I'm like, where are the women talking about psychedelics? Where are the pregnant women, the mothers? Where are they at? So I created a show because, there's no need to be silent about something that has been labeled as taboo, when we know in our spirits, we have that intuition, that we tap into to let people know, okay, this is not just a physical act. This is something that you feel in the body as well. I feel like I don't want to get too lost in my overall message, but I'm learning in my own relationship, and then through raising 2 children as well, that we are the best parts of each other, whether we see it or not. Even when we argue, even when we trigger each other, even when we get angry, we bring the best out and the worst out in each other. And that is the beautiful part about relationships, about balance. And with the divine feminine going through this shift where people are waking up to their spiritual consciousness, that's the feminine waking up in you. You wanting to find out more about crystals or manifestation or law of assumption or law of attraction, or, watching Eternals, figuring out like who you really are. That's you tapping into the feminine. It's been lost for a very long time on so many. And now that it's being found again, we can find a way to link the two. We can see how abundance is important in the physical just as in the spiritual. I want to talk about one more thing that I've witnessed this year. So I watched Stranger Things, and I've seen the whole show before, but this particular season, they did it on purpose. They do it all on purpose. They put it in our faces. The point of the upside down is like the whole as above, so below thing. So this creature was feeding off of the fear of children. And particularly women, I think. I don't even remember. I think there was like one male that died, but it was feeding off this energy of fear. And fear is something that occurs when we feel that we're at lack or we don't have enough of. And I'm trying to think of how I can tie this into masculine and feminine. When one part of our nature is weakened and one is stronger, they cannot work together in order to activate our superpowers. We can't just have like, I have all the money and the wealth, but then you're not woke up here. And you can't be woke up here and then be broke. Like, you got to have both. You have to be able to balance both, have both, and awaken all parts of self. That's how we ascend to the next level. I am very excited to be a feminine and masculine spirit in this time, because it's only allowing me to see a reflection. When I see a lot of these male speakers, these men, all I see is a reflection of myself. Even when I get triggered, even when I'm saying like, how are you going to tell a woman about her? It's a reflection. You're doing your work because you did this work before. You're simply speaking and providing a platform for people everywhere because you've done this work. You've been here, and you're here to do it again. And the minute I stop rejecting who you are and start embracing it, just like, I embrace myself, then we're on the path to success. We're on the path to ascension. So for women who feel like they've seen enough men talking, then you create, because they're a reflection of us. Keep creating, respond, open up conversations, Let's teach our children together. We're here to bring back that man, woman, and child. We're not here to separate. We're not here to just be bad bitches unite and, men over there. We're all here together. So, damn, I almost went 20 minutes today. But I'll leave that here, and I look forward to speaking more and connecting with you all over the world, hearing your thoughts, hearing the things that you're excited to learn. So this has been the Tailored Healing Collective show. I keep saying that like this is my podcast, but this has been Taylor Valera, and as always, let love lead the way.